Welcome, everybody. We are here today, being free, being real. We've all been in this process of releasing and healing and coming into really just a place where we feel full in our bodies, coming home to our bodies and experiencing just always growing into a place of full-bodied health, full-bodied wellness, really just embracing our process and our journey with being at home in our vessel. And today's a really special day because I get to invite two of my dear friends and colleagues, Bethany Bosworth. She is a BSN, an RN, a CHT. She has a wellness center here in the Denver area. So if you're in the Denver area or visiting here, she does hydrocolon therapy. She does infrared sauna, foot baths, all the things. She also offers Purium and is just so knowledgeable about all the things that we do because she's a nurse and she knows all about the cleansing and the detox process and what that actually really does in your body and what makes Purium different when it comes to cleansing and detoxing. I also have Yarrow with me today, Yarrow Dankert, who I just have so much admiration for the depth of her work. She's an herbalist, she's a botanical medicine practitioner, and she recently received her certification in regenerative medicine, which is an exciting new field that really explores cellular regeneration and regenerating in order to address all sorts of different ailments in the body and stuff. And so I'm excited mostly to hear from them, but real briefly, I'm just going to share with you my knowledge, which is basically my experience with Purium. I had an A1C3 pre-diabetic diagnosis about a year and a half ago, and I decided to go for it and do Purium. And so I started my journey with Kimberly Sanders, my mentor, and I stand here today fully just stoked because my A1C3 is no longer pre-diabetic. And I also was having a lot of digestive issues. I was having blood in my stool and a lot of just irritable bowels, a lot of inflammation in my digestive system. And all of that disappeared within like 30 days. So it's been amazing for me, this journey and adding this practice of cleansing and detoxing. And I've been healthy in a lot of ways for much of my life, doing yoga and dancing and really taking the best care that I knew how of my body. But with these new tools, it's just taken me to the next step and really also inspired me to join Purium as a partner and to be able to offer this to my friends, to my family, and to my clients. I teach dance and yoga, and I'm also getting educated right now so that I can offer different somatic practices and physical therapies to people. So that's definitely going to be a part of my practice moving forward because it has really deepened my connection with my body, and it's really unlocked physical spaces, which have then unlocked a lot of mental spaces and spaces in my spirit to really move forward in my life and continue having vision and manifesting and keeping on dreaming and making life the reality that I want it to be. And I want that for everybody. So, well, without further ado, I would really like to introduce you first to Yarrow in hopes that she will just share with us her amazing journey. I mean, she was like raised in such a beautiful way and has been gathering this knowledge for such a time. So Yarrow, go ahead. Just looking forward to hearing this.
Thanks, Barbara. Can you guys all hear me okay? Yeah. My story seems pretty normal to me, but I was raised on a mountaintop in Evergreen, Colorado in the mountains. And my good friends of mine used to say like I was just skipping through daisies and eating granola for my childhood, which is pretty much true. I have almost no memories of it because it was just so easy and really so great. And my mom was in aura balancing school when she was pregnant with me. So I think on a energetic level, she was getting all cleared out and all of that was really nice. And my dad was in school with her as well. And then they had their own massage therapy school while I was a young child growing up. So I had that just in my psyche. I don't remember any of it, but there it was. And I've collected herbs on the hillside of where I grew up for sure the whole time. Um, and that's just part of my life. It's just who I was. I've always done it the holistic way and known that that was the right way. We never went to the doctor. I've probably been to the dentist, I don't know, 3 times the whole time. And they're always just kind of like rude to you and snippy about not wanting fluoride and not having cavities and not thinking that I need to go to the dentist if I don't have a problem, all that kind of stuff, which in general across the board for medicine, there's unless you're doing badly, you're doing great, you know, is how I generally feel. So I most recently I started in massage therapy school, then I went to herbology school, and from there began doing massage, but also working at a health food store, which really had a big impact on me and who I have become, I believe, as one of the next steps in my path was to open my own health food store when I came to my New Mexico town, where I live now for the last 20 years. I was offered a building to open a juice bar for a chiropractor in town who was really wanting to treat his patients with juice, and had found that that you could cure, quote unquote, COPD with carrot juice. And he was doing that, and he was absolutely blown away and thought it was so fantastic. And so he said, "Hey, will you do this health food store?" And of course I was like 25 and was like, "Sure, I can open a health food store." And thank goodness my husband had all the skills to help me build it. And I just went for it. Opened a health food store, and then learned a ton about the human body and physiology, and researching what molecules do what and what vitamins are good. And the sourcing was really a huge part of it. Learning where people get the ingredients to make the products that they make is really, really important. Maybe the most important thing in any of it is because you can't make a quality product out of non-quality ingredients. And my mom and I have had a little herbal business this whole time. Along the way, we made tinctures and have a website, and have done that online and sold those at the farmers market, and have helped clients get well on whatever level they needed to. And then most recently, I went to the Institute of Regenerative Health and got to learn how to get to the root cause of an illness or a sickness or whatever it might be, and really looking at the body kind of in a simplified fashion, which is pretty neat. It's really in depth, and our bodies are absolutely amazing and have lots of chemistry and chemical reactions going on that I couldn't possibly regurgitate here. But in the Institute of Regenerative Health brings it all to alkalizing the body, being able to detoxify by alkalization, and then when you are alkaline, you are able to regenerate all your cells, because all it takes to regenerate a cell is one glucose and one oxygen molecule. That's it. That's what creates ATP in a cell, and that couldn't be any more simple.
This is like exactly what I'm studying right now, actually, in my biology class, is that whole process of cellular respiration. And it's just opening up all these wonders in my brain when I think about like free radicals, and I think about all of these things that people have been noticing help for a while. And now that we have the knowledge that we have on a cellular level, mostly due to our ability to now be able to see deeper into the body because of the imaging that we have, we're now able to understand it in a different way. And I feel like part of what we're seeing is that, you know, in standard medicine, it's kind of based off of a standard set of knowledge that's been there for a long time. And when you're on the receiving end of healthcare, you're not necessarily getting this information, like what you have, this regenerative medicine, the information that you have, it's like cutting edge information about how we can address in a different way. And I think you were saying that you get to actually work with doctors when you have the certification that you have, which I think is amazing. And it just speaks to the recognition that this information has. Like they're acknowledging that this regenerative medicine is going to be valuable to doctors in the way that they're treating things.
Well, I hope so. I don't know about working with doctors, but I get to be involved in practitioner lines. I'm allowed to use some practitioner lines of vitamins and supplements, and this parasite protocol line that I have applied to be a practitioner of previously, and a certified clinical herbalist wasn't enough to be able to trust my knowledge that I would be able to suggest these treatments to people in a safe manner. And so that really has opened the door for me and given me a big level of confidence that I didn't have before. And
I love
that part is
that.
wonderful.
It's a
Yeah,
really
me too.
important kind of line that we walk, right? Between what is wellness and what is, standard Western healthcare and all these things. And, what I can always speak to is just my experience. And so I just encourage anybody that's watching this to just know that in the wellness community, where we're really looking at nourishing ourselves in a preventative way, there's a lot that can be done before you end up having all these symptoms that show up in your life. I mean, there's a lot that can be done after you end up having symptoms as well. But this piece, this nurturing piece of wellness to really care for yourself before something happens has a value that I think is not recognized in many communities and many circles. So I just thank you for dedicating your life to that, because the value that it's had for me and the value that it can now have for the people in my life is, it just reverberates out, it's like an endless feedback loop of us helping each other avoid getting into those situations. And the cleansing and the detox for me has just really rejuvenated my body. I can feel it, on a cellular level, like we always talk about. And yes, and Yarrow also has an apothecary that you can find online. And she has, like she was talking about, she has access to all these other things. She also has a whole practice of regenerative medicine, and you can become one of her clients, and she can really work with you on a more detailed level than what we offer at Purium, which is amazing. And I would love to give you an opportunity to just speak a little bit to that and share with anybody that might be watching as well.
Sure. So Purium is amazing and can absolutely change your whole entire life just by adding all of the wonderfulness that it is. Micronutrient saturation is really important to help the cells regenerate, and nutrition or different vitamins and nutrients are what we need to function. It's our fuel. So in that being said, a person could reverse autoimmunity or to take matters into their own hands with diabetes, as Barbara mentioned, and other things, to be able to work backwards to the place where you are detoxified enough that your body knows how to function in absolute perfection when it is at that place. So what I'm now learning is, well, which I've always known, but is more and more clear, is that the work is all preventative. It's like when someone comes to me now and says, oh, I'm really, really sick, what should I take? It's like, you shouldn't take anything. You stop eating, start drinking lemon water only, and start maintaining yourself. It's like, it's all about maintenance and about preventative. You can do things to make yourself feel better, but it's like, oh, well, I'm in the third day of cleansing and should I take a Motrin? It's like, well, if you want to, but realistically, that's all it does is suppress your system. So it's just such a huge shift in a different paradigm to be working with Western medicine and thinking about what you can do when you're in a place when you're sick, or working with somebody like Bethany or I, where we're working on creating a perfect environment in your body beforehand, so that when the viruses pass by or when the bugs come through or whatever goes on, you're just able to manage it. I mean, when I got COVID, I was like, kind of felt like maybe I was going to get a little bit sick for like 3 days. And my husband was like deathly ill in bed for 12 days, right? It's just the difference of that. And luckily, I was raised the way I was. So I think my constitution's really, really strong. And he was the baby of 10. So he didn't have a lot in his stores, right? His mom didn't have a lot to offer his body to start with in the first place. So I'm really lucky in that way. But the truth is that even when your constitution starts out slow or lower as far as nutritional saturation, you still, when you step into regenerative health, can get to the place where you have saturated all your cells with the nutrition that they need. And they can turn that all around. You can actually rebuild your constitution. So that is like a miracle of health, in my opinion.
It totally is a miracle. And yeah, it's the whole thing of, your whole skin can replace itself within a certain number of days. Your organs can replace themselves within a certain number of days. All the cells will replicate and go through that process of replication. And so when you're supporting your nutrition, the proteins that you're giving yourself and all the nutrients that you're giving yourself rebuild the cells. Like the RNA is created, and everything gets replicated and rebuilt with that pure nutrition. And without all the binders and the chemicals and the other additional things that can like gunk up the wheels, it really is a perfect metaphor with the car, where it's like the quality of the oil that you put in your car is going to determine the health of your engine, how well it runs and for how long. It's a very basic process. Or like gardening, if you have a garden bed of flowers and you're keeping the soil alive and regenerative, then the plants that grow out of it are going to have that many more nutrients. And it's the same. You're regrowing your body at every moment of every day. Your body is blossoming and blooming into newness. And so if you continue to feed yourself this really pure nutrition, then your entire being is regenerated in that purity and in that state. So beautiful. It really is, just like you said, it really is a miracle that we can understand our bodies in this way. And a lot of us have this knowing, like we've kind of known it for a while, but to see the science come in and like back it up, and to see, for us to be able to see inside at that cellular level now and really see it happen, it's amazing. And so I do want to go ahead and allow Bethany to have time to share about her amazing practice. I'm so excited to go visit her wellness center and get some hydrocolon therapy and all the things. So I'm just going to pass it over to you, Bethany. Take it away.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And Yarrow, just deep bow to you for all of your wisdom and your knowledge, and how generous you are with how you share it with all of us. And so I'm so grateful to be able to send my clients that need the deeper dive to you, Yarrow. It's so wonderful. And this whole community is so supportive. And so I'm just really blessed to be a part of this chosen family. And so thank you, Barb. I'm Bethany Bosworth. I'm a registered nurse, and I am a colon hydrotherapist. I'm also a Reiki master, an energy healer, and life coach. And that is one of the pieces of my practice that I feel is so crucial to a true whole body, mind, spirit healing for people. We realize that people hold a lot of their emotions in their guts, and the traumas and the pain and the experiences of regret and the self-loathing and all of the stories and pictures and programming, it all contributes to the overall state of how our vessel is functioning. So I was working in the private pediatric duty realm with a patient that I absolutely loved, and I learned so much from her. And I learned so much just sitting at her feet for 7 years, how even the most, what we would consider broken bodies or malfunctioning bodies, I just see everyone as perfect, exactly the way they are. And they have gifts to bring, and they have so much love to give. And they have so many lessons to teach. And so after being in that realm for about 7 years, I started to feel the shift, and I was just, as the universe does, presented with an opportunity to expand my reach. And I came across the colon hydrotherapy concept, and found out that this woman was selling her practice, and I didn't even really understand the full potential. I didn't have any chronic illnesses myself. I wasn't challenged with a whole lot, other than a couple of repeated back injuries. I was relatively healthy, and I was able to eat anything I wanted. And so I in nursing school, you don't learn a whole lot about nutrition, and you certainly don't learn about the detriment of the excess sugar and the acidic state of the body. So when I got into, I decided to purchase this clinic, and then I began to understand. I saw so many of my clients coming to my door, and they were in such a state of suffering. And so many people, when they show up at my door, are saying, I've tried everything. And they're just like, oh, I've tried all these medications and these antibiotics, and just in pain and never feeling really good in their bodies. And when they arrive at my door, I'm so blessed to be able to say, I have some tools. I know I can help you. And it all begins with detoxing the body, removing the putrefying, decaying, stagnant matter from your colon. Even people that aren't constipated are going to benefit from doing this cleanse, because in one 40 to 50-minute session with colon hydrotherapy, you are attaining about the same amount of bowel clean out as a 3-day fast. And if you understand the benefits of fasting and what it does for your body, and when you stop putting toxins into your body, and you give your liver a chance to really focus on detoxing instead of the digestive piece of it. And then you remove the source of a lot of toxins, because the pathogenic bacteria that are sitting in your colon are producing a lot of the toxins. They're producing the methane gas, and they are just sitting in that fecal matter, and they're replicating, and they're just causing this toxic load upon the body. So removing that opens up the detox pathways. And then you've got to look at what you're putting in your body, because I was having a lot of success with clients with just so much like instant relief. But what were they doing in between their sessions? What were they going out into their lives and having the same choices for what they're putting into their bodies? Well, that was my problem. Like, I wasn't feeding myself very well either, because as a healer, I was giving a lot of myself to people, and I was not feeding myself very well, because I just didn't have a whole lot of really good options, and I didn't have the wherewithal to really do all the meal planning and the food prep and the clean eating. And so I began to lose muscle mass. And so that's like the opposite problem of people that are carrying too much weight, and it can set me up for, osteoporosis and falls and problems later on in life. So I was introduced to Purium and met Kimberly Sanders, and she introduced me to this concept of sacred self-care. and how feeding my body was actually a self-love practice. And she set me up with these products, and it took, you know, about 30 days for me to really start to get activated, and the energy started really coming in and just locking in. And then I started to see the vision of this company and the true potential of what this food could do for people in their lives. And I was like, of course, yes, I'm going to bring this into my practice. I mean, this makes so much sense. And the mission of this company, the heart of this company, the love that these foods are grown with, and the love for Mother Earth and the way that they're taking care of the Mother Earth. And I mean, this is everything that I'm aligned with in my center. And so I, of course, said yes. And I have just been so blessed to see client after client have their energy increased, have their digestive issues start to totally resolve. I have one client that has had chronic digestive issues ever since an accident 7 years ago. And he was like, this is the first time in my life I haven't had to like run to the bathroom within 15 minutes of eating. And he's healing, and he's lost, you know, 28 pounds in a month. And, you know, I'm seeing just beautiful results. And the A1C, the effect of that, I mean, the importance of getting the blood sugar down in your body cannot be understated, because that sugar in your blood is making your blood sticky. It's setting you up for just so many problems down the road. And so the inflammation in the body coming down, the alkalizing power of these foods, you know, inflammation, at the very core of inflammation is really all about free radical damage. And why do we care about free radical damage? Well, because those atoms that are missing an electron on their outer shell, and they're unbalanced and they're unstable, and they're looking for stability. So they go around to the other atoms and they steal electrons. And so this is the problem at the cell membrane. It's like that's called oxidation. It's what happens to apples when they turn brown. It's what happens to iron when it rusts. And that's what's happening to our cells, and it's what's happening to our DNA strands. And then our cells forget how to kill themselves when they get mutated, and that's called apoptosis, and they forget to do that. And that's where tumors start to grow. And so what do we do? And I always like to think about how, you know, all of the hundreds of billions of dollars that has been spent on cancer research, and what do they tell us to do after all that research? They have just like 3 pieces of advice to prevent cancer. And it's don't smoke, and exercise, and eat your fruits and veggies. And, you know, 4 servings of veggies and 5 servings of fruit a day. Most people don't even come close to that. And that's actually nowhere near what we need to counteract the free radical damage that's happening in our bodies every day.
And even when they do, like, even when they do go to the store, you know, a lot of people don't realize that when they go to the grocery store and they're buying their produce from the produce section, it looks shiny, it looks colorful, it looks bright. And you pick it up and you take it home, you know, and you wash it. Hopefully you eat it before it goes bad. But this fruit and vegetables, in most cases, has not been grown in living soil. It's been sprayed with all kinds of pesticides and glyphosate. It's not nutrient dense as the servings that they're recommending us to take. So you would even have to have more servings than they suggest, unless, of course, you're buying organic produce, which hopefully is grown in regenerative soil, but in some cases it's not. It's certainly not a requirement with the organic label. There's a lot going on with our food supply, and having this source of pure plant-based nutrition that is picked at peak ripeness. So it's not going into a crate to then go on a truck, to then get shipped, to then get cooled and frozen, to then sit, to then get, it's like that whole process chain of what happens with our food. Purium totally solves that problem because they pick it at peak ripeness and then they dehydrate it right away. And so when you're getting it, you're still getting all those nutrients. You're not losing all those nutrients. And yeah, I know Kim was asking on the chat too, and maybe Yarrow, you can speak to this. She was speaking to your practice with having just fruit. And if you could talk about that a little bit, that would be great. I know that Tammy did this with you, this like fruit cleanse, and I'm definitely would love to hear more about that.
Sure.
And
It's
Bethany,
totally
thank
awesome.
you. That was so much amazing information. I'm like, just like hanging
Bethany, you
on
said so
every
much
word.
great stuff. The fruit thing is so cool. So I know a lot about the body, and I have for a really long time. And when I was in school, and the day that Carrie told us that you only need one glucose and one oxygen to make cellular energy, period. And that, of course, the best place to get that glucose is fruit. Fruit breaks down almost entirely just with the pidolin that's in your saliva. So by the time it drops down even into your stomach, which is the most acidic part of your body, it's generally already digested. Some of the fruits are not, like papaya, date, fig, mango, maybe. Those like need a little more work. The rest of them pretty much almost entirely break down in our mouth and give us the glucose that we need for cellular energy. That's it, like period. So a person has 100% of energy available on a day, and 85% of that energy is utilized digesting food, just digesting food. So the 15% that's remaining is used for everything else that you do. If that's for doing exercising, for cleaning, the mamas out here. I mean, I have 3 kids. Mine are mostly grown, thank goodness, but you're just exhausted the whole entire time, right? You have to go to work. You have to keep your house clean. It's like the life has just become this, it's the rat race. It really is, on and on and on of it all. So fruit is the most antiseptic and also has the highest vibration, the highest frequency of anything that we can possibly take into our body. So as Barbara touched on, trauma and things that have gone on in our lives, when we're working on detoxing, and then Bethany touched on it as well, the gut-brain connection, and when you have toxicity in your body, if you don't work to detoxify, like if you just start adding the micronutrients in, you're doing yourself well, and you will get to a place where you can be really clean down the road. It'll take a year or two, depending on how old you are. You know, it took me 45 years to get to where I'm at today, and I did it really, really well. And I still needed a ton of help, right? So these people that are eating fast food and processed foods, imagine all the toxicity that they have built up in their body. So when you start to eat only fruit, you're able to immediately get energy that you need for cellular energy, and you don't have to use that 85% of energy for digesting food. So you begin to digest all the old garbage that is in your system, which the average person holds about 18 pounds of fecal matter in their intestines. That's just one part of it, right? Our liver is generally the part of us that will deal with chemical things that come into our body. Sorry, that's getting noisy. And our kidneys will deal with our lymph system. Our lymph is the waste of our bodies, and it is our kidneys that will flush the lymph, and our bowels will empty into the liver. The toxins from the bowels will empty into the liver. So when you're doing all fruit, you're just giving yourself tons and tons of energy, and it's also antiseptic. So it's almost like using an industrial seltzer. It's like getting in there. Some eating just fruit will clean out the margarine that you ate, or the saturated fats and palm oil that none of us can actually process. So when you're stepping into the world of detoxification, it's like the epitome of biohacking. You are doing exactly what your cells need for you to do to be able to get a ton of energy and quite literally clean out all the old crap. So if I wish there was a hydrotherapist, a colon hydrotherapist in my town, Bethany. But you're doing yourself a huge favor by going and having a colonic before you start cleansing. Huge, massive. If you just wake up every morning and drink a glass of lemon water before you do anything else, you are literally starting your day with like flushing out using Sudser. You're cleaning it out. You're getting it all alkaline. You're starting fresh. Another thing that Carrie described was that your body will work all night long to get to an alkaline state. We're sleeping, of course, so it's detoxifying and doing its work on rebuilding things. And then you wake up and you drink a cup of coffee. Most people drink a cup of coffee, which literally is the same pH as battery acid. And it's like, how brutal is that to do to your own body? I mean, this is the vessel that you were given. You have to live in the whole time. So it's not
Absolutely.
necessary.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, yes. My mom was the
Isn't that
biggest coffee
unbelievable?
drinker. She drank coffee. She started giving us coffee when we were like in fifth grade or something. She would give us like a half coffee, half water, you know. My Nana was
Yeah.
giving us, you know, little cups of wine and things like that. And it's like, really, like our generation really, I feel like has had an experience of watching the effects of all these changes in the food industry and all these different ways that we do our food systems, and our trash systems, and our medicine. I mean, all that stuff over the last just really couple hundred years has changed so drastically the way that we approach those things. And like here we are a couple hundred years later, and we're really facing the effects of that. The earth is facing the effects of that. And I am just like 150,000% so thankful for you guys' knowledge and you guys' willingness to go out on an edge and go out on a limb and be the change that we need to see in this world, because change is so possible. And I love this quote from Kimberly and Dave's video about the Plastic Free Alliance. And he said, you know, it's not enough to envision the change. We have to make the change so. And that for me, just because, yeah, you can like dream it, you know, like, oh, one day everybody will recycle and that'll be the end. And, you know, a lot of people just like stop there. One day everybody will eat organic and then we'll be able to da da da. But it's like, no, do it now. There's a way to do it now. If you can eat totally beyond organic, regenerative soil nutrients that's pure with nothing added to it now, and do that for your body, if you can have it be in compostable packaging, if you can get your waste in your house to a point where you're not, you know, having any plastic, you're not wasting. Kimberly, everything that she puts in a cup, she fills the cup up with water and puts it in her sink, and then she waters her plants with it. We need to value the resources that we have. And Purium answers the call on so many of these points to allow us to have, like you guys are speaking to, just the nutrients that we need to purify and clarify our vessel, to bring better digestion, which brings better mental well-being to you. It helps you create the hormones that you need to feel good. And when you have that clarity of mind and you have that clarity in your body, you're living from a place of conscious choice. You are choosing to be the change that you need. You're choosing to be the change that the world needs and that the earth needs. And I just hope anybody that's watching today, if this resonates with you, please reach out to Bethany, please reach out to Yarrow, reach out to me. We have so much knowledge and we have an entire community of coaches and experts who are here to support you in your journey. And I think that is just like another huge piece with this company of the integrity. It's like, if you step into this community and you get yourself on a pack, you have this knowledge base to back you up. If anything's going on and you have any questions, we're here to answer. We're here to hold your hand and walk you down that road. And I just wanted to do a quick screen share and highlight the products that we have that are the detox and cleansing products. And I have to close out some windows here. It's a little bit different when I'm sharing on my live. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So the super cleanse is our 10-day cleanse. We do have a cleanse pack that you can do separate from the ULT, but as Yarrow and Bethany mentioned, it's really important that you are having this nutrient density in your nutrition while you're going through these processes of cleansing. So I'll talk about the packs here in a little bit, but the part of the pack that does the cleanse is the super cleanse. It helps with healthy bowel function. It releases toxins and buildup in your digestive tract, and it eliminates parasites like Bethany was speaking to, the bacterias that are just letting off all of this stuff in your gut. You know, when you're able to release all that, the value in the way that your cells can now regenerate, the value now in how you're able to bring in nutrients is huge. So the ingredients in this I want to talk about, because these are all whole plant ingredients, organic, grown in regenerative soil, live dehydrated, black walnut hull, marshmallow root, clove, wormwood, amalaki, cascara sagrada bark, and senna leaf. And some of these ingredients, I've had customers come to me and say, oh, I've heard about that ingredient. That's just something that you take when people want to lose weight. And I think what's really important about the Purium difference is that they are very careful to only put the amount of this that's necessary. They are not overloading you with these ingredients. You are not doing like a deprivation cleanse where you're like not having anything, and then on top of that, adding like loads of these different herbs and roots in at random amounts. This is very carefully formulated by experts in this field that have been doing this for over 30 years. And so you can feel comfortable knowing that we all use this process. We all use these products here at Purium, and we can speak to how well it works in your body, and we can speak to the quality of what you're getting. So obviously, if you have any more questions beyond that about the super cleanse, we can help you learn more. Also, the Biomedic, this is the detox that I take this every day. The value of it, like I said, within 30 days, I no longer had blood in my stool and I was just having smooth poops. It detoxifies glyphosates, the pesticide that we were talking about a moment ago. If you go to the World Health Organization website and find their statements on glyphosate, I mean, it's right there. And unfortunately, the USA, America is one of the last countries really that has not banned it yet. And our product, Biomedic, is tested and proven to remove up to 75%, I think it is, of glyphosate from your body within 60 days. And that's a huge improvement. It's going to improve your digestion. It's going to improve your immunity. And it's going to improve your healthy C-reactive protein levels. So this is inflammation in the body. Bethany, I think, shared with me at one point that this is the biomarker. This inflammation biomarker is one of the first ones that a doctor will see and be concerned that they might need to look for the root of a disease starting to form or something like that. But also, just if you have tendonitis, if you have arthritis, lowering your C-reactive proteins is really going to improve that state in your body. But yeah, not just in your muscles and joints, but in your organs, in your digestive tract. You know, inflammation can happen anywhere in your body. And so this is the value that these products bring. And I'd like to share with you also the ingredients in the Biomedic. The Biomedic has pre-BioSure, digestive wheat germ extract, chicory root fiber extract, humic sure, fulvic and humic acid blend, and lactospore. So you are getting all of the good things. Typically, when you go to the store and you're going into this aisle and you're wanting to get a prebiotic and a probiotic and some fulvic and humic, you're getting it all as separate products. And they really bring it all together into one product in a way that makes it so easy and cost effective. If you try to buy all these things separately in the store, you're going to be spending a lot more. This is a really reasonable price. And if you end up taking it regularly, you can buy a 4-pack and you save money that way. It's also part of the 3 and then free. So if you order it for 3 months in a row, you can get the 4th one free. So we just help you stay accountable and stay consistent so that you can continue this practice. We love to support you and help you in that way when you show up for yourself. The other products that come with our packs, the Super Amino creates lean muscle, supports skin elasticity, burns fat, and supports mental acuity. The Power Shake with the aminos, guys, this is that nutrient density that we're talking about. You are flooding your body with nutrients. So with the shake, you're supporting your energy, you're reducing cravings because it's so alkaline, you're fueling your cells for that regeneration, and it's really satiating when you drink one of these shakes. You're good for a couple hours, with 5 of the aminos. It's beautiful. And there's so many amazing ingredients in the shake. And this is just one shake. We have other shakes as well, but look at all these amazing organic ingredients right here. If you want to see this nutrition label in more depth, you can hit one of us up. Look at the percentage numbers of these nutrients that you're getting: 120%, 40%, 40%, 220%. I mean, you're not going to find this even in, the synthetic supplementation that you get at the store. And this is whole food nutrition. It is invaluable. And the biomedic I spoke about, we have the apothecary. This one is acerola cherry, dark cherry syrup. Just enhances sleep, combats free radical damage, beautifies your skin, supports a healthy response to inflammation as well, which just works right along with the biomedic on those C-reactive protein levels. It helps your body create its own melatonin. So much value here, and really everything that you could need. And I don't know about, everyone kind of has their own way of their food lifestyle, but I do this pack and I eat a couple snacks and then I eat a nice full dinner every night. And I know every day that I'm getting what I need. And we have actually a special right now. If you order the pack and you sign up for a 90-day commitment, then you are getting savings on that pack the second month. You're getting so many points. You're really just committing to 90 full days. And the value of that is that it takes 90 days to really set a new habit, a new lifestyle in motion. Scientifically, if you want to change something, you've got to really commit. You've got to really dive in. And so if anybody's interested in the 90-day go, we would love to support you in that. We've all experienced it for ourselves, and we would love to see you experience this deep level of cleansing and detoxing, purifying yourself, loving yourself, and committing to yourself. So I'm going to let everybody go. I want to respect everybody's time, but I really want to thank you all for coming today and anybody that's tuning in. So have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, and we will see you guys on the flip side. Mwah.
Can I say 2 things, Barbara?
Oh, yeah.
So when you go to the doctor and you get your blood checked, by the time you have a problem in your blood, your lymph system has been totally overwhelmed already. Stuff doesn't spill over into your blood until you're overwhelmed with lymphatic stagnation. Okay. So when you're getting your blood tested and your A1C is high, it's just another indication that like 30 days of doing something great for your body isn't going to be enough.
Yeah.
And when you take synthetic vitamins from the store, they almost always just turn into acidic ash in the body and therefore stagnate your lymphatic system. So I just thought of those 2 things while you were talking to let everybody know that there's a reason to do whole food supplementation and to take these powders. They're really special. It's not like these vitamins are the best. They really are a different form. They're a different source. They're watered really specially. The whole thing is like they're created different and special from start to finish. And there are reasons that you want to do that for yourself, because it's reaching true cellular health, just like everything else we've been talking about.
I love the way you said that. I love the way that you put that. And you're right. It really is just so special. And once we get it into our body, I think we really get to feel that, and once you felt it, you just want to share it with
Right.
everybody. All of my clients who have tried it are now sharing it with everybody that they know, because
You
they're
almost can't
having
help
such
it.
amazing results. And
Right.
that's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's like when you've lived your whole life with a healer's heart, when you've lived your whole life with the heart of a caretaker, and you finally get something that you can hand to people, and you just see a difference. It's like, it doesn't matter who it is. They get
Right.
it in their body and they're just having these amazing results. Kimberly, hi.
She wants us to say
Hi.
something about the zinc and the vitamin C.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Beauty.
I just want to ask you, thank you. First of all, you three are absolutely amazing. And I wish to share this with my clients. And I'd like for you to speak about the zinc and really our vitamin C. I have a client that was taking vitamin C, but it had ascorbic acid and, vitamin D in there. These are things from like Costco. And so then the amount of vitamin C and zinc in our zinc, is that like, it's true absorbable vitamin C, and I'd love for you to just talk about how it's helpful and the ratio of everything in there.
Bethany, you want to go and tell about that?
Well, if you think about how much, when you extract just one component, this vitamin C, this form of ascorbic acid, which is acidifying you and your body, and Yarrow spoke to that, like, why the acidic state of our body wants to be in a very narrow range. And so, we think we're doing a good thing by really pounding all this ascorbic acid that's called vitamin C, but it just makes so much more sense to get a whole plant, and then you get that symphony effect of all of the whole plant, and to have the ascorbic or the acerola cherry extract. You don't need nearly as much, because we're used to like, oh, I'm going to take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C at a time to support me daily or during a cold. But when you're getting it from the whole plant in this herbal formulation, you don't need nearly as much. So that's, is that what you were talking about, Kimberly? If you look at the pack and you say, well, there's not a whole lot of vitamin C in there compared to what people's eyes are used to seeing, right? So that's an important distinction.
Wow. I'm learning so much today. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that either one of you would like, or does anybody have questions that's here with us today? Put them in the chat. We would love to answer your questions if you have any questions. And yeah, if you guys have anything else, let's just take another round and let's keep going. I'm definitely fascinated by all of this. Anybody?
Looks like Kelly has a question.
Cool. I need to move my box so I can see my. Let's see.
So my older sister is, she can't, well, she's anti-purium, number one, because I've tried to talk her into it for so long. She don't even want to hear it anymore, right? But her magnesium, she's had a 4-hour infusion and still can't get it to normal, right? So she's taken every magnesium product that you can think of, trying to get her magnesium up. And I'd just like someone to speak to the damage she's really doing to herself by pounding all this in her body. And I know, it can't do anything because it's not absorbing, but I would love for Bethany or Yarrow to speak to that, because I'm gonna make her watch this if I have to hog tie her.
I definitely have some to say about this. Do you too as well, Bethany?
I'll let you go first.
So magnesium is really, really important. You probably already know that because of what you're saying. And it is one of the things that'll show up as being low or needing support in that way. And in regenerative health, the reason that you need minerals in general, well, first of all, we don't get the minerals we need from the soil. That's where they originally would have come from. And then therefore from the plants that we are all supposed to be eating consistently, right? That is mostly missing. So in being anti-purium, she's really missing out on getting some really good minerals passing through there that she might be able to absorb. But when your body is in an acidic state, you're not able to absorb minerals, and your body will steal calcium mostly, but also all minerals from your bones, teeth, and connective tissue to pack around your organs to protect them from the acidity in your body. So you are one of two kinds of people. Your body will either create cholesterol and fat, your liver mostly does that, to pack around your organs to protect them from the acidity, or your parathyroid will come into action and hand out calcium to pack around the organs to protect it from the acidity. So when you are having almost everybody is starting to have connective tissue weakness. And the reason that is because we're over acidic. So if she's anti-purium, that's really too bad for her. But taking the magnesium, the synthetic magnesium, isn't going to necessarily hurt her, but it will just add to the acidity in the body because it's synthetic and therefore can't be seen by the body as something that's useful. She could start eating fruit every day pretty heavily. She could go on just a raw food diet or on a juice fast, and she might see some results from that. She should go see Bethany and get a few rounds of colonics, probably 3 to 5 of them, is what I would suggest while she's doing a juice fast, so that she's having the minerals come through. But the bottom line root cause of being magnesium deficient is that you're acidic, and that means your lymphatic system is overwhelmed, and it's showing up in your blood now because your body is stealing from itself to protect itself from the things that you ate.
Yeah, and I would also say that you know, as we age and our gut lining is compromised, I mean, anything that compromises the lining of your intestine that is going to inhibit the absorption of magnesium, Crohn's disease, if she has chronic diarrhea, loose stool in advanced age is a really big problem. And, you know, over the years of eating pesticides and herbicide-ridden foods, and we know that glyphosate is compromising the gut lining. It's ruining the villi that's lining the intestines, and that's where we absorb water and nutrients. And so if someone has chronic loose stool, that tells me that their body is not absorbing water. Their gut lining is you know, most likely it's related to that. And so, you know, this is one area to look at, that if she has that as an issue, that the purium and the biomedic is going to heal the gut lining, and it can really turn around so many of these digestive issues. And if she's on diuretics too, that's another reason that it can also leads to the loss of magnesium and the inability to retain magnesium. So among other, you know, kidney impairment, pancreatitis, liver disease, anything that, you know, is gonna, if you have higher levels of blood glucose in your body, that can cause the kidneys to excrete more urine, and then you're losing magnesium. So it's all interrelated.
And the root cause of everything she named is being over acidic. At the base of every ailment is over acidity. And so maybe try to approach your sister in a more scientific manner. Like we don't just all love Purium because we sell Purium. We love Purium because we took it and experienced it. I love Purium because every person that I suggest it to has so much wonderful success and results from taking it. And it does some really special things that other products on the market absolutely cannot do.
Thank you both so much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, it is really our pleasure. And I know you guys know, and you guys also have people that you're helping. I mean, it's so authentic, you know. I've sold things before in my life, you know, I've done that. I was sold glass art for a long time and, you know, objects and things, but this product, I mean, this food, it's not even a product, it's like whole food, plant nutrition, and people are having their lives changed, and we are having our lives changed, and it's just invaluable. So I hope that everybody will talk to whoever showed you this today and just reach out to them and have an open mind and have an open heart, because there's one thing that's for sure, is that the approach that we have been taking to food in our homes and in this country for the last couple hundred years, well, we're seeing the results of that now. And there's a lot of people out here with diseases, and there's a lot of people out here suffering. And this company was not blossomed and bloomed and grown to sell products. This company was created to end human suffering and to help people overcome the pain and overcome the result of what's happened to our food supply over the last couple hundred years. So I just hope that you'll have an open mind, and I hope that you'll take the time, anybody, to just learn more about what's happening with our food and learn about this amazing process that this company has of getting this fresh, whole food straight from the farm to your door and to your gut. So do that good thing for yourself today and help out whoever brought you here today and support them on this mission, because we're all in this together. So I think that's a good place to bring this to an end. And I just thank you guys all for coming today. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and we'll see you on the next call. Much love.